What if I told you that the mysterious beings known as Jinn have a far deeper significance in Islam than most people realize? In today's video, we'll uncover the truth behind Jinn in Islam. We'll explore the most common myths surrounding them and reveal what Islam really says about their nature, purpose, and role in the unseen world. Stay with us until the end to learn how understanding Jinn can change the way we view spirituality and the unseen forces that influence our lives. But before we dive into the truth about Jinn, you might be shocked by the key difference between Jinn and devils that most people get completely wrong. Number 1. Jinn are just evil spirits. A common misconception is that all Jinn are evil. In reality, the Jinn, as mentioned in the Quran, are diverse beings created by Allah from smokeless fire. Just like humans, Jinn have free will, which means they can choose to be good, neutral, or evil. While some Jinn may be harmful and lead people astray, the Quran makes it clear that not all Jinn are bad. In fact, some Jinn are Muslims who worship Allah and follow righteous paths, while others may reject faith and rebel. The Jinn are also capable of good deeds and have their own communities, much like humans. The idea that Jinn are all evil comes from misinterpretations and cultural myths. Number 2. Jinn can possess humans at will. A common myth is that Jinn can possess humans at will. While there are stories across different cultures about Jinn possession, Islam teaches that this is not a common or automatic occurrence. Jinn do not have the inherent power to possess people whenever they choose. In fact, possession is considered rare, and usually only happens in extreme situations, often linked to spiritual neglect, vulnerability, or harmful practices. Islam encourages seeking protection from Jinn through prayer and specific Quranic verses, such as Ayatul Kursi, Quran 2255, which is believed to provide a spiritual shield. Regular recitation of Quranic verses and maintaining strong faith are key ways to safeguard against harmful influence. In Islam, it's emphasized that humans are always under the protection of Allah, and possession by Jinn is not something that can happen without cause or divine will. Number 3. Jinn can shapeshift into animals or humans. A widely held myth is that Jinn can easily shapeshift into animals or even humans at will. While it's true that Jinn have the ability to take different forms, they are not always visible to the human eye, and their shapeshifting abilities are limited. Islamic tradition mentions that some Jinn can appear in the form of animals, like dogs or snakes, but this doesn't mean they can perfectly disguise themselves as anything or anyone. The idea that Jinn can constantly and seamlessly transform into any form is an exaggeration. In fact, the Quran and Hadith suggest that Jinn are usually invisible to humans and their ability to shapeshift is rare and not something they do casually. This myth often comes from folk stories and misinterpretations of Islamic teachings. In reality, Jinn, like humans, have their own unique characteristics and abilities, but they do not possess unlimited power to change forms at will. Number 4. Jinn are always a threat to humans. Many people live in fear of Jinn, thinking they are always hostile and dangerous to humans. In reality, the majority of Jinn are neutral and do not pose any threat. Just like humans, Jinn have free will and can choose to do good or bad. The Quran makes it clear that some Jinn are even helpful, guiding people toward good deeds and worship of Allah. While there are certainly Jinn that may cause harm or lead people astray, they make up only a small minority. The vast majority are neither benevolent nor malevolent. Islam encourages seeking protection from any harmful influence through regular prayers, including the recitation of specific Quranic verses, like Ayatul Kursi, Quran 2255. Spiritual vigilance and maintaining a strong connection to Allah provide safeguards, ensuring that most encounters with jinn remain neutral and harmless. Number 5. Jinn are just superstitions in Islam. A common misconception is that jinn are merely folklore or superstitions with no basis in reality. In Islam, however, jinn are an established and integral part of belief. The Quran mentions jinn in multiple verses, and there is even an entire chapter dedicated to them. Surah Al-Jinn, chapter 72. Jinn are described as real, unseen beings created by Allah from smokeless fire, living in a parallel world to ours. They have free will, like humans, and can choose to follow or reject the guidance of Allah. The belief in jinn is not just a cultural aspect of Islam. It is a key component of understanding the unseen realm, which also includes angels, the soul, and the afterlife. Denying the existence of jinn goes against Islamic teachings, as they are part of the spiritual and metaphysical dimensions that Islam addresses. From the idea that jinn are all evil to the misconception that they can possess humans at will, we've now cleared up the most common myths about jinn in Islam. The truth is, jinn are beings with free will, and their role in the unseen world is far more nuanced than many realize. Islam teaches us to seek protection and guidance from Allah, and to be aware of the unseen forces that shape our world. And remember, the real mystery isn't in fearing what we can't see, but in understanding it. Before you go, I'd like to ask for a small favor. Please keep my late parents in your prayers. May Allah grant them peace and forgiveness. Thank you for your support and for watching.